Hi, everybody. It's me, Zonya, and I have the most amazing success story that I just have to share. It's Terrie from Florida. Now, a little backstory about Terrie before we get to her is she watched my lower cholesterol with these three foods video on YouTube. And right after that, she decided to join my online program of eating real food, the Real Food Weight Loss Intensive. Okay, and that was in January of last year. And in 1 month in that program, she had dropped 11 pounds. And by 3 months, 20 pounds. And her cholesterol dropped, wait for it, 63 points in those 3 months. And her doctor no longer talks about statins anymore. What a relief that is, eh? And now, 11 months, 12 months later, now she's down another 8 pounds for an almost 30-pound total now. And her husband has also dropped 8 pounds back to his high school weight, and his labs are perfect. But you want to know the most absolute, very best part? Is when I asked her, I said, Terrie, what does your husband think about how your cooking has changed? And she said, well, at first he was a little skeptical because he saw less meat on his plate than usual, but he quickly changed his tune because the food tastes so good. She says, we feel no deprivation. He's generally excited about whatever we're having for dinner now. Woo, woo, Terrie. So how many of you are saying, I want some of that? So here to spill the beans and tell us what she did, how she did it, and what she eats now, here's Terrie. Hi, Terrie.
Zonya.
All right, Terrie, let's get right into this. I want to know how you were feeling 11 months ago or so when you were thinking about this program. Tell us about that.
Well, I had heard some family members were having issues, and I didn't want to have those issues. And at that point in time, I was feeling really old. And I remember asking myself, is this what it feels like to be old? And I didn't want to have a part of it. So I, started searching. And one morning I got up and I turned on YouTube. And since my doctor had been complaining about my cholesterol, I thought, let me go find something on how to lower cholesterol. And lo and behold, who do I find but ZONYA Foco? I became addicted to her programs. And I would get up at 4 a.m. So after about 3 days of doing that, I contacted her. And it's a beautiful story since then.
You joined in the group. This is how you were feeling old and no energy. And then so you jumped in. What were some of the first diet changes? What did you change first?
I realized that I was not eating breakfast, and you had indicated we need to eat breakfast, we need to eat lunch. And so the changes that I made, I immediately started eating breakfast and lunch. And when I did that, I did not feel hungry, and I didn't run to the chips and the salsa as my breakfast lunch about 2 o'clock. So those were some of the changes, breakfast and lunch. And because the food was so nutritious, my body was satisfied and I didn't have the cravings anymore.
And we talk about using intermittent fasting to our benefit and not to our detriment. But we also talk about how we don't want to use intermittent fasting wrong and how we want to do it right. And it sounds like for you, planning and we talk about making breakfast be loaded with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory foods that help drive inflammation down, which is what was making you feel old, right? Mm-hmm. So you were eating pro-inflammatory snacky snacks throughout the day, and you weren't having programmed really nutrient-rich, smart, fast, easy, nutrient-rich. So we got that fixed. Now let's talk about dinners. You and your husband described them as having a little less meat, but still being delicious. Why do you think that is?
I was a plain Jane cooker. And so when it came to spices, even though my cabinet was loaded, I only had about 4 that I used and was very fearful of messing up the hard made dinner that I was presenting to my husband. So I didn't, want to use spices, but when I started to use them, oh my word, what a difference. It was like a game changer. The food was exciting. And my husband was telling me, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're making, but I get so excited for dinner time now.
So what else? Tell us some more ideas of things you changed up, you ate less of and things you ate more of.
Well, I started eating more beans, at least 4 times a week, and varied grains. I just didn't stick to brown rice or other simple grains that we all know. I varied my grains. And also fruit. Fruit was one of the things that I had always heard that you don't eat a lot of it because it's got a lot of sugar and you don't want to become diabetic because too much sugar is not a good thing. So I avoid, I had a banana, maybe once a day. But as far as a variety of fruits, no.
And now you do. What would you say has been the fruit? What has it done for you? Eating more fruit has done what for you?
Well, eating more fruit has curbed my sweet tooth. It made me feel like I was having dessert after a meal. It was delicious. It just really ended the meal. That little sweetness was really what I needed for dessert.
Nice, nice. And so we stepped into these changes week by week, and you had the support of the group to help support you. And then you started making not these changes because you were on a diet, right? But because you were making some changes and they have stuck with you, right? And this is a new way of thinking and a new way of being. Beans are not bad carbohydrate, they're good carbohydrate. Fruits are not bad carbohydrate, they're good carbohydrate. And figuring out that real food really is really good for us, right? Good work. Good work, Terrie. All right. So, let me ask you this. We know that your cholesterol dropped 63 points, whoop, whoop, and your weight almost 30 pounds now. That's so great. But tell us about your blood pressure.
Well, my blood pressure, it was starting to get up there, 130s, 145, and I had never had blood pressure that high. Now, my doctor didn't complain about it, but he was keeping an eye on me at that point in time. And so anyway, about 4 weeks into the program, I thought, well, let me run down to the pharmacy. I need to get some groceries and let me take care of getting a blood pressure reading. So I took my blood pressure and it was 101/70. I thought, is the machine broken today? And I was just like totally flabbergasted. So, I go home and I'm just like, I've never had a number like that, to my knowledge. So anyway, the next day I thought, I'm going to go back down there because I don't know if that's really true or not. So I went back and took another reading. This time is 108/70. And I'm like, okay, the machine's not broken. This is not a fluke. This is what has really happened. I've been in the program 4 weeks, and this is miraculous. It's just by eating properly, nutritious foods, including
Wow.
fruit, including beans. These things are, powerhouses for nutrition.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're eating those oats, you're putting berries in it. We talked about flaxseed, you're doing all these things, this nutrient rich that you're getting, and it's high in potassium and it's low in sodium. And so what that's doing is it's bringing your blood pressure down and into normal range. And so exciting that real food can have that kind of power in that amount of time. But big accolades to you because we talked about these things in the class and the group, and you were so active and supportive and with everybody in the group and leading the way and making these changes. So yay, you, Terrie. So great work. Great work, Terrie. Okay, so the next question I want to ask, you've often said that none of these changes have been depriving when other diets do. Why is that?
Well, diets basically, whenever you start a diet, there's always rules and regulations. And the regulations are avoid this, don't eat that, no. So, it's a bunch of no's. And so, but that's not the case with Eat Real. Eat Real is about eating all foods And it teaches us nutritional choices that we can make. And we don't have to give up any food. So that's what the difference is between a diet and Eat Real. Eat Real teaches nutritional information to help us to make wise choices in our lives. And so if we plan, we can have that little dessert occasionally.
Hmm. That's exactly right. I love it. That good moderation, and you're not on the wagon, off the wagon, and you're not perfect, not perfect, but focusing on what to eat. Like we have the 9 daily defender foods. Try to get these 9 daily defender foods every day, right? So when you started trying to get all 9 of those every day, it was like other things fall off the, so you just naturally, without focusing on what not to eat. Oh my gosh. I wanted to ask you, what was the experience like being part of our online program?
Well, first, it was a life-changing experience. The course was really fun. I mean, I learned so very much. There's nothing to be fearful about. There's other people on this same health journey. And so when we're gathered together as a group online, we all share different stories. No one feels threatened. And so it's just so very helpful. So it's, to me, the best experience, that I've ever had. It's a life-changing experience. I have gained my health back. I never thought that was possible. All these diets where I was depriving myself, I was not building health. I was tearing it down with some of these diets that are not nutritionally balanced. So anyway, it was just a life-changing experience. And the big deal is I no longer feel old. I feel young again. And I mean, I love the weight loss. I feel young again. I can do things. I can bend more. It's just beautiful. Thank you, ZONYA.
Oh, and
So
you're so welcome. And you dodged taking statins. You did it naturally. You feel better. Statins make you feel bad. They make you feel old. Talk about achy joints and muscles and memory loss. There's so many bad side effects to statins, and you avoided that. Wow, Terrie, that's so great. Very good. Okay, so it was worth your investment, eh?
So I don't look at the cost. That is really a drop in the bucket compared to the expense of medications and the damage those medications can do to your body, because we really don't know.
Yeah, there's pros and cons there. Yeah, that's for sure. All righty. Thank you for that, Terrie. I've got another question for you. We've talked about the food part, but what about fitness and moving and exercise? Tell us about that. How has your fitness changed?
I started walking, I tried to do, in the beginning, it was like, okay, if I get a mile or a mile and a half, that's good, but I was getting tired. And so anyway, then with the encouragement of you and seeing everything other people were doing, I thought, well, let me just see if I can increase. So I started increasing. I initially would walk maybe 3,000 steps, or 3,000 steps. But then now I'm up to 9,000. And I started out maybe doing a mile to a mile and a half. Now I do 3 miles. And and then I also started thinking, well, what else can I do? So I don't know how it happened, but I saw a trampoline. And my initial thought was, how in the world is that even going to help me? It's just a little trampoline. I started watching some videos. I ordered one, and I fell in love with rebounding is the word they use nowadays, but it's a trampoline to me. And so the trampoline has been a blessing for me. It's easy on the joints. You can do it any time of day. And so that has added aerobics to my exercise routine.
All right, so I think we've covered everything. I want to ask one more question, and that is, how does it feel now when you go to your doctor?
I enjoy getting on that scale now. I enjoy my numbers, discussing my numbers because they're so excellent. And then I tell them about ZONYA, and the Eat Real program, that she's a registered dietitian. Where in the world would I have ever found a registered dietitian? That was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
A registered dietitian to help me gain control of my life. I am so very thankful for that.
Terrie, congratulations. Yay, you young thing, you. You took control, you dodged statins, you're controlling your heart health, you're probably avoiding a heart attack, you're probably avoiding so many things. You've done so well, probably type 2 diabetes, so many things that you have turned the train around on, and I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Yay, Terrie. And I just want to thank you. And I also want to thank all of you watching us today. And I just want to say, hey, big invitation. You can join the exact same program that Terrie did, starting up the 3rd week in January. It's an amazing course. I'm so proud of it. And it's the Eat Real for Your Health Weight Loss Intensive. And we will go for 3 months, once a week on Thursday nights. Would love to have you join us. And we even have a money back guarantee because it's how confident we are that you'll enjoy the first few classes and want to stay in. But also, and if you're watching this video in the summertime, well, then we kick up and start Diet Free, which is a 4-month program. And guess what? Terrie did that program as well. And so it all works together. So you just take whichever program is at the time. And then also, if you want to take one of our Conquer Cholesterol, well, these Conquer Cholesterol program, or the How Greens Fights the Blues, or the Lower Blood Pressure, or the Dodge Diabetes, we have those on-demand programs too as well. So we're here for you. We're here to help you feel young, help you feel great going to your doctor appointment and showing your doctor who's boss. Yeah, you are of your health. Thanks so much, everybody. Remember, keep it simple and eat real.